What's up, gamers? You got TigerChainsaw. In my last video, I reviewed Lost Planet on the Xbox 360 from 2006. Well, 4 years later, Capcom came out with the sequel called Lost Planet 2 in 2010. That is the game that I'm going to be reviewing today. But Capcom made some really bizarre decisions with Lost Planet 2. To me, it felt like they had established a setting, a cast of characters, and a gameplay style with Lost Planet. But they erased all of that in Lost Planet 2. But don't worry, I will go into plenty of details about that. Now, if you are a first-time viewer on this channel, or if you just haven't yet, make sure you hit that sub button because I've got tons of retro video game reviews on this channel, ranging from the 80s all the way to present day. So hit that sub button to help this channel grow and to catch all of these game reviews. All right, let's team up with our partner because we are going to be doing a lot of co-op action in Lost Planet 2. After the moderate success of Lost Planet Extreme Condition in 2006 for the Xbox 360, Capcom followed it up with a sequel. Lost Planet 2 was released in 2010 for the Xbox 360 and PS3. Developed and published by Capcom, Lost Planet 2 completely erased the plot and characters of the first game and reset the gameplay into a much more focused multiplayer co-op experience. Would the changes pay off, or was Capcom silly to make these changes? Let's first start with the plot, but be warned, spoilers are ahead. Where the hell is Bruce? Seriously, that was the first thought that came into my head when I first started playing Lost Planet 2. You begin in a group of mercenaries that are about to ravage a mining facility that's controlled by snow pirates. I'm already ahead of myself in the story, but I was thinking that this mission would somehow lead to Bruce and his friends. The more I played Lost Planet 2, the more I realized that this entire story was just a compilation of intertwining stories that wound together every fabric of the planet except for Bruce. I was disappointed to say the least because I genuinely liked the plot of the first game. I was instantly intrigued by Bruce, his father, and his band of pirates who were fighting for their survival. In the final moments of the previous game, Bruce lost his memory and was slowly regaining them as the snow melted on the frozen planet. It set it up perfectly for a sequel to continue Bruce's path in whatever direction Capcom wanted, but they completely axed him from the story. Instead, we are treated to various short missions that lead up to a major event at the end of Lost Planet 2. The game breaks up the story into 6 episodes. In the first, you are mercenaries that are sent to destroy a snow pirate mining facility. If you aren't familiar with the setting of Lost Planet, I'll give you a brief rundown. The planet is called EDN-3 and has a similar weather pattern to Hoth from Star Wars. Giant bug-like monsters called acrid infest the planet while sustaining their life with this type of thermal energy that is extremely valuable. Nevik is a mega corporation that once tried to colonize the planet over 150 years ago after the Earth became inhabitable. After most of Nevik was annihilated by these acrids, the planet becomes abandoned except for a few Nevik soldiers who remained on the planet, and they become snow pirates. Lost Planet 2 combines stories from both the current viewpoint of Nevik and the snow pirates that were left behind and puts you in the shoes of these regular soldiers. Anyway, let's get back to the first episode. You, along with other mercenaries, storm a mining facility and defeat snow pirates. On this planet, there are pockets that have started to unthaw and have become tropical jungles due to the technology that Bruce helped launch in the first game. It turns out that you and the mercenaries were set up by Central Command to fight a giant acrid classified as a Category G acrid. In Episode 2, you are put into a group of Nevik soldiers tasked with wiping out a rebel city and capturing a mega weapon in the form of a railgun. After securing the city, an acrid from space that has the ability to regrow his limbs appears and attacks your group. The railgun escapes on the train tracks as you are left to defeat the space acrid on your own. Moving to Episode 3, you are now the snow pirates again who have been living in the desert. You and your pals are returning to your settlement until you are attacked by other pirates. These pirates are the same ones that escaped from the city with the railgun in the previous episode. After defeating them, you take control of the railgun and fight off yet another giant acrid. Now in episode 4, Nevik begins to split up into factions. There are soldiers on the planet who are being sacrificed in suicide missions, all for the prized possession of the thermal energy. Central Command finds a giant source of this thermal energy in an orb and directs the soldiers to go after it. The plan is to have the soldiers harvest it, but in the aftermath of the thermal energy harvest, a new ice age will be triggered. This puts you into the shoes of Nevik's soldiers who have defected and plan to storm the Nevik base in order to stop Central Command from destroying the planet. Moving on to episode 5, you take control of Sand Pirates. These guys are very cholo, complete with terrible Mexican accents and honestly some stupid traits. I'm not one to be sensitive about race or characters, I'm just saying that these guys were complete idiots. They reminded me a lot of the psychos from the Borderlands series with their armor and lack of smarts. It was not fun to play as them as they continued to banter back and forth in terrible accents. Again, I'm not PC at all, but these guys were just an attempt at inserting humor into the game that really missed its mark. They felt very out of place.
I think it's obvious. I think it's more than obvious. Who would ask something so stupid? Yes. We are going to crash that fiesta!
Anyway, with them, you hijack a huge Nevik airship and take control of a railgun on board. The final episode of Lost Planet 2 has the player take control of the Nevik defects as they invade Central Command in space. They hijack a laser weapon from the space station capable of causing mass destruction when fired onto the planet. They plan to kill the acrid known as Overg, which is causing all the chaos on the planet. The soldiers descend onto the planet with robotic suits and with the help of snow pirates, fight their way to the core of the acrid. They tag the GPS on one of them and the laser fires onto it, killing all of them. Lost Planet 2 ends with the mercenaries and the pirates together as off in the distance they can spot a few acrid flying around. A helicopter then comes and takes the soldiers away and the credits roll. Where the hell is Bruce? The plot was changed dramatically in Lost Planet 2, but the gameplay also saw some changes. No longer will you have to watch your thermal energy count down as you make your way through the level. It still plays a role as it acts as your health bar and a source of power. Collecting more thermal energy after defeating enemies is key, but honestly, I only died 2 or 3 times during my entire playthrough. Lost Planet 2 wasn't particularly challenging. I did love the short missions and the checkpoints. There's about 5 to 6 missions in each episode, with each mission lasting 5 to 10 minutes. It's perfect for someone with a short attention span, or if you mindlessly just want to blast some acrid or soldiers for a half hour before moving on to obligations. Speaking of the acrid, there are about 10 different kinds you'll face in missions, ranging from human-sized acrids to 1,000-foot ones. The big boss fights are fun, but not as challenging as the first game. You'll have plenty of opportunities to secure missile launchers or Gatling guns. There's also going to be VS suits scattered about too, and because of this, I really didn't feel a sense of accomplishment when defeating the bosses. It all felt too easy. The big shift in gameplay was the huge focus on co-op. You can team up locally with up to 3 friends, or you can host a game with an online lobby. I didn't do any of this because I just don't have any friends, so I teamed up with AI and formed a team of 4. To be honest, these soldiers worked great together to defeat the enemies with or without you. This was a great example of useful AI as opposed to other games that give you helpless soldiers who just get in your way. I didn't feel like I was doing all the work. They too killed just as many acrid as I did. Lost Planet 2 is relatively short. I was able to beat it in about 6 hours, but the entire game just felt more like a DLC pack with random missions as opposed to a full game in a series. I wasn't able to connect with any of the characters like I did in the first game, and because of this, I really wasn't bummed when it was over. Capcom had a hidden gem with the original Lost Planet. I loved the corny characters and was invested in Bruce and his pals. Lost Planet 2 loses all of that charm of the first game and gives you what feels like a compilation of DLC side missions while making no mention of whatever happened to Bruce. Now, there is fun to be had in the brief run of the game, but this just feels like a budget game rather than a AAA sequel. Capcom completely changed around the story and the gameplay with very mixed results. Lost Planet 2 scores a 6.9 out of 10, making this an average game. And to be honest, a bit of a disappointment after how much I enjoyed the original Lost Planet. Hey guys, I just have one question for you. Where the hell is Bruce? What did Capcom do with him? Well, you'll have to find that out in my next video, which is Lost Planet 3. Now gamers, if you've played the entire series or Lost Planet 1 and Lost Planet 2, I would love to hear your thoughts on the series overall. Drop me a comment below, let me know which is your favorite in the series, and if you played Lost Planet 2 with your friends. I didn't get to experience that, so maybe you liked it better than I did. But while you're there, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to watch tons of video game reviews, including my Lost Planet review that I just released last week. So check that out after this if you haven't yet. Gamers, thanks for watching, and make sure you play a video game today.